is, everybody? Welcome to Truth and Transparency.
This is an ABC News.
This is the update from the FBI about an hour ago, and they just released a photo. So,
Special report.
Wanted to cover this a little bit.
Good morning. I'm Diane Macedo. We're coming on the air because authorities are holding a briefing about the shooting death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. At Utah Valley University, the shooter is still on the loose from more than 100 yards from where Kirk was sitting at the time. And those officials now are giving us an update on the investigation.
I'd be remiss if we didn't start off today and recognize the significance of the day. Historically, on 9/11, law enforcement has come together as a group to recognize and honor those that did come to this country. And our right to just to recap yesterday's events. At around 12:20 p.m., political influencer Charlie Kirk, student-sponsored event with Turning Point USA. Charlie was shot at that event. He was transported to a local hospital where he later passed. Last night, his body was moved to the state office of the medical examiner. We will continue to facilitate movements to get him home. That's something that's new and that we're
went.
Morning. I am Bo Mason, Commissioner for the Utah Department of Public Safety. I'd be remiss if we didn't start off today and recognize the significance of the day. Historically, on 9/11, law enforcement has come together as a group
Sorry, we are back. I have no idea what just happened there.
to recognize and honor those that sacrificed to preserve the ideals of this country, the freedoms of this country. And instead, we find ourselves today hunting a murderer who chose to violate our rights, the rights of an individual within this country. Just to recap yesterday's events, at around 12:20 p.m., political influencer Charlie Kirk was at Utah Valley University participating in a student-sponsored event with Turning Point USA. Charlie was shot at that event. He was transported to a local hospital where he later passed. Last night, his body was moved to the state office of the medical examiner. We will continue to facilitate movements to get him home today and with his family. Yesterday, during the investigative process, we located a couple of persons of interest. We interviewed those individuals, and after releasing them and after clearing them of being suspects, they faced scrutiny, they faced threats. We asked the public to be patient with the investigative process. These individuals were not suspects, they were people of interest. We ask that you do not impose into those people and that investigative process. They don't deserve that harassment for being subject to that. I'd like to thank all the investigators that are involved in this. They have worked around the clock, all day yesterday, through the night last night. Investigators from the State Bureau of Investigations, from county, from city agencies, the university, our federal partners with the FBI, the ATF, and many others. Those are just a few of the people that we have involved in this. I'd like to thank all of them for their strong work. Through all that work last night, we were able to make a few breakthroughs. We were able to track the movements of the shooter. Starting at 11:52 a.m., the subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairs.
There's your first piece of your timeline. He arrived on campus at 11:52. That's interesting. 11:52.
Stairwells up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood. Our investigators have worked through those neighborhoods, contacting anybody they can with doorbell cameras, witnesses, and have thoroughly worked through those communities, trying to identify any leads. We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time. We are working through some technologies and some ways to identify this individual. If we are unsuccessful, we will reach out to you as the media and we will push that publicly to help us identify them. But we're confident in our abilities right now, and we would like to move forward in a manner that keeps everyone safe.
All right, so right there, I want to speak on that. That means they said that they were going to not release this photo, and now a photo has just been released. So this was about an hour ago. So now, maybe a little bit more than an hour ago. So now they have released the photo. So it is the thumbnail that you guys see. That's the photo that they released. And so it's just kind of amazing to hear that the technology is, they're unable to get what they needed from the technology that we have. And so they pushed the picture out to the media and any help. So.
And move this process appropriately. Last night I communicated with Erica. The family's devastated. As a commissioner of public safety, as a father, as a husband, I can only imagine what that family's going through. The heinous event that happened yesterday is not Utah. This is not what we're known for. Over the past several weeks, we've seen the state come together to help families in mourning, come together as a community to show what Utah is known for a state of character, of service, of camaraderie, of a neighboring feel. We will not stand for what happened yesterday. We are exhausting every lead. We have every officer invested in this. Every investigator, every local agency, the outpouring of support from the law enforcement community has been astounding. We are investing everything we have into this, and we will catch this individual. Having walked through the crime scene, through the hallways of the school, through the classrooms, I can't imagine what the people on scene felt as well. A horrific event where some of them barricaded in classrooms, some of them ran in fear. Can't overstate the tragedy and the horrific event that yesterday was, and how we will work to bring to justice the actions of one individual or any other individuals that assisted in that. Our state has gone through a lot, and we will come out successful. With that, I'll turn the time over to Special Agent Bowles.
Good morning. My name is Robert Bowles, and I'm the Special Agent in charge of the Salt Lake Field Office. Following yesterday's tragic shooting of Charlie Kirk, FBI agents have been working around the clock in coordination with our law enforcement partners. We are and will continue to work nonstop until we find the person that has committed this heinous crime and find out why they did it. This morning, I can tell you that we have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle. That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled. The FBI laboratory will be analyzing this weapon. Investigators have also collected footwear impression, a palm print, and forearm imprints for analysis of this heinous crime and find out why they did it. This morning, I can tell you that we have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle.
So the FBI is reporting that they have recovered the weapon, and they've recovered it in a...
That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled.
In a wooded area.
The FBI laboratory will be analyzing this weapon. Investigators have also collected footwear impression, a palm print, and forearm imprints for analysis. Now, I understand there are a lot of questions about motive. I assure you that all leads...
Must have been pretty dusty up there on the roof. Like it said, palm print and shoe impression.
Tips are being fully investigated. As of this morning, we have received more than 130 tips. We thank the community for that. The FBI has brought every resource to bear, and we will continue to do so throughout the course of this investigation. The FBI's mission is to protect the American people. It's to uphold the Constitution of the United States. Any attack on the First Amendment is an attack on the very foundation of our democracy. That is why we will relentlessly pursue this case and the shooter until we find him. We also continue to grieve with the family and the community. It's our community. If you have any video or images from the shooting, we ask you to please submit them to our digital media tip website at www.fbi.gov/Utah Valley Shooting. You can also call the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. We truly rely on the public's help in these types of cases, and no tip is too small or insignificant. Thank you.
All right, they start taking questions. We can't really hear the questions that well, but we can hear their answers. So let's play their answers on this replay. And right after the replay.
For the records, I have no idea who this guy is, but I just like agenda free. So I was like, I want to watch this one. Agenda free.
We'll get your comments on what we've been hearing. This is a replay of the press conference just moments ago. Let's listen to their answers to the questions. Sorry,
Absolutely.
we can't hear the question.
So what I'll release about the suspect is suspect blended in well with a college institution. We're not releasing many details right now, and we will soon. But right now we're not. But that individual appears to be of college age. We are confident in our abilities to track that individual. If we're unsuccessful in identifying them immediately, we will reach out for the public.
Okay, wow. I would think that the picture that just got released, he doesn't look like he's of college age. Doesn't he look older? Oh my God, I would never think that he was of college age. I mean, what's college age though too? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Help and the media's help in pushing those photos. That was a new development overnight, working through the night, studying those cameras. So that's something that's new and that we're working through right now. As far as the security, I cannot speak to that. Neither the Department of Public Safety nor the Federal Bureau of Investigation was involved in the planning or security of this event, and that'll have to be a question later for other agencies.
So that's a good question, and it's a question that goes to the safety of the community, right? No, not in those woods. We've walked through those woods and secured it. As to the community, I can tell you that this was a targeted event. We don't believe that the community is at risk. However, we are exhausting every resource to find him, and we will do so. So I can't comment specifically on his face or any details such as that, as it's continuing to be a part of the investigation. And again, we'll release that shortly. However, we're doing everything we can to find him, and we're not sure how far he has gone yet, but we will do our best. We have images of the suspect. Again, as part of the investigation, we're not releasing any details such as that right now. We are exhausting all of our resources to be able to collect those, but that's, again, part of the investigation. Excuse me? We are working on that, but again, part of the investigation that I can't release. Not at all. We've got complete and total support from everyone, from the director on down, and it's been an incredible supportive environment so far. All I can say is that we're working the investigation the best we have.
How does someone just get out of their car with a rifle strapped to their back and nobody says anything? I don't know. Am I missing something? I would think that the rifle would have already been on the roof or something. How does someone just get out of their car at 11:52 or walk or however they got there and have a rifle and nobody sees it? No one says anything? I mean, what? You know,
with the environment we're given. So thank you.
Okay, is that it? What's happening then? So that was a quite significant update that we are going to talk about right now.
Very, very significant.
And
So she's gonna just stop over here in the river.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, there's one of the photos. I mean, I don't know. This person looks really skinny and old. Maybe there's something. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. So FBI Salt Lake City put it out.
Leah, thank you. Nina Drew now offering a $100,000 up to $100,000 reward for information leading to his arrest.
Yes. 100 grand. See, okay, now that picture right there, that side angle, he looks younger. Okay, so this side angle looks younger. The other picture looks older. I'm wondering if they enhanced it some way though. Okay. Like this picture from the side angle, he looks way younger. And from straight on, he looks way older. Again, I'm curious if this picture here has been enhanced in some way. I don't know if you guys saw some of the videos last night of a woman that like posted, I can't remember if it was like Instagram or she was in the backyard of her house and she's video recording and she's like, oh my God, there's like these armed men searching in my backyard through, I wouldn't call them woods, but yeah, they had some like pine trees, I guess. I don't know. It's interesting that they're not saying where the gun was that they found. They said they found the gun. It was in a wooded area. Um, I would think that if you could throw out a location of that, it might help, with this picture. So I don't know.
Also say they have recovered the weapon, a rifle, and they have good video of him coming onto campus, going up onto the roof, getting in position to fire,
They
and leaving campus.
they just have all this camera footage, and nobody saw. I wonder if he didn't get out. Is this gun able to be taken apart, put in that? It looks like he has a backpack on. I don't know. It looks like it's a backpack to me, but. Ooh.
Now, there's a door code and now
God, he looks so different from the front. Look at that. Come on, man.
Hold on a second here.
Look at that. I want a side by side.
Smurf 25849, Tulula A. Bell.
I know I did that as well. No, look, do you have a description?
I think that's
It's a female, 45 years of age, white
Hold on.
female, around 5'3", 120
James
pounds,
Whitling,
brown,
Janine McNelia, thank you. Nina Drew, Christina, got me
Yeah.
some.
Love
Snoopy.
people.
Sorry. Got me some Snoopy, Christina, Nina Drew, Janine McNelia.
Okay, I'm good with him calling out the names. All right, so what do you guys think? This rocked my world for Brandy. Yeah, a lot of people. I think a lot of people feel that way. Yes. See, I like comments like that. I'm not a fan of Kirk, but this is absolutely horrible. Gwen said that. Absolutely. With people not being a fan of his, people being a fan of his. This is just unbelievable. I don't. You couldn't pay me enough money to go and be outside and not in an arena with. I would want the building to be not outside. I would never feel comfortable doing something like this in this day and age outside. Again, they detained 2 people yesterday. Today, they finally have released this picture, another picture. FBI says that they have the gun. They have a palm print and a shoe impression. They have video of him arriving on campus at 11:52 a.m. and him going to that location by entering a building and getting up there. I would think that I would love to know when, anybody know out there, when did Kirk make the announcement that he was going to be at the location, and as well as not just the college, but where they were going to have this? Did anybody do any research on when the notice went out, on when this was going to be happening, and where it physically was going to be happening? I know it's just kind of like the stuff that we talked about when the shooting with down in New York City, Luigi Mangione. August 26th is one of the answers I see. Katie? Curious if they picked that location and how long somebody would have had to know that that's where he's going to be speaking. For example, what if it would have been raining that day? Would it have been inside then? Katie said, I got an email on August 26th. Interesting. In your email, did it have the location? Yeah, I think the side the side picture for me looks so much younger than straight on. Look at that. Wow. It's crazy. Somebody said it looks like Anthony Greeno. If you know Delphi, you know. If you know, you know. I think this is somebody that has definitely knows how to shoot a gun. Anybody that's telling you otherwise, I mean, wow. Wow. I don't know if you guys have seen, I actually saw and have the footage of when he actually got shot. And anybody who says that there's not a lot of blood is crazy. I have the video footage. It's a mass amount of blood. And if you ask me, it looks like he became paralyzed or something right away. He doesn't like go grabbing for his neck or anything like that right away, or nothing. And then he eventually loses the microphone. It's absolutely horrible. They have to have a ton of footage of it. All the cameras that were up front like that. This is so sad. Freedom of speech. You think I agree with everything that Charlie says? Absolutely not. But you want to know what I think is amazing about what? Dude, yeah. Let's talk. Let's debate. You know? Wouldn't you? I mean, it just, wow. Crazy. This is so awful. I want to know where they found this gun. And is that a better angle? Okay. Wonder what. Oh my God. He's walking right next to this person right here. So many people had their cameras out too, like with their phones. Let's see. Look at that. It's like he's going up stairs. No way. Get out of here. Now the question for me is, how do they know that he's the shooter? Do they have him? I'm sure they have pictures of with the gun then. Wow. Kim, not your cup of tea. Welcome. Thank you for becoming a member. That's what it looks like to me. Like it doesn't seem like he has a rifle in his hand. I would want to know when they picked the location. I don't know what these pictures are from.
He has no gun.
Exactly, he has no gun.
Doesn't appear to have a gun. What is the shirt he's wearing? I don't know what the shirt he's wearing. What is the shirt he's wearing? I don't know what the shirt he's wearing is.
I mean, I can definitely see a flag on his shirt.
Wow. They released the photos.
I wonder if somebody told them to release the photo. I feel like that was an executive call there. Yeah, it totally looks younger on the side. He blended in with the college students, and somebody just can miraculously get up on a roof when you have a big gathering like this, and nobody's out there. Hey, we want to have somebody on each roof. Like what? You guys, this doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, There's not many buildings that were on that angle. You're not going to have some like security up there. Even just like campus security. If you're not going to have like your own security. That's just crazy. Whew. Also, if they found a weapon somewhere else, right? That means he took the weapon with him, and then somehow they're able to find the weapon, but not him. That tells me that he would have like a cell phone on him, and they're able to track him a little bit or something. I don't know. And they actually know who the shooter is, and they have his phone number. I mean, think about this: if you were to do like a geofence. If you started like a geofence last night, and so you're, is it bad? We might be having. They were doing a bunch of work over here again. They were rewiring all of our, I don't even know, lines. Sorry if it's lagging. That's like finding the gun to me would be like finding a needle in the haystack, right? We gotta go pull out Google Maps and take a look at Google Maps and see where like this wooded area could be by the campus. So he was just able to walk up out of there with a gun. And nobody saw it. Also, you know how hard it would be to so say that you have information. How do you get it to somebody, right? It took a while to start up the tip line, and you're just gonna go to the campus police or try to call. I mean, I'm just saying it's not as easy as, hey, I got to get this information to you. Hey, I have this video. Hey, how do I get this stuff to you? Also, you don't even know what you have. You know, I guess a lot of people can start looking at their phones right now and, hey, is this guy under any of your footage? Look at the footage that you have. You know, look through it. Look at your pictures that you took. You know, look at your social media. If you did like Snapchat and shit, like maybe they can get a better photo. But I think if they were able to find that gun, because if you were just going to discard it like right by the school, then why wouldn't you just leave? Period. No, you're going to take it with you, and how were you carrying that? I don't know, man. I want to hear more about this. I want to hear more about where this gun was. So sad. So freaking sad.
Seeing, that's the tent where Charlie Kirk was sitting under when he was killed.
The videos of the people that were interviewing like before.
Oops, hold on.
Yeah, like stuff like this. Like they were interviewing, you know, people were like blogging themselves. Have you guys seen any of that stuff? The accuracy of the rifle, I think it's 100%. This isn't somebody that just, oh, hey, I shot a gun a couple times. Phrase of the week is geofencing. Running errands. That's funny. I like that name. Creative. Let's take a look at another some of these clips from yesterday. Let's go back over here. I don't know why that's acting up. Sorry about the lagging. Yeah, this is all lagging. This is ridiculous. YouTube will just, by the way, just delete comments based off of the language, so it flags it on its own. How else is he supposed to get up there? Well, it looks like he just walked right up there. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Pierre, right there. You also would have to know the line of sight from the roof to inside the tent, the elevation drop and distance. You'd have to know a lot. And that tells me that you'd have to know where he's going to set up this tent up, and everything like that would have been known prior to. Don't you think that that person would have potentially been up in that area or another area around there to take some peeks at it? I would think that if you knew that he was going to the campus August 26th, to be able to plan from August 26th and have insider information about where this tent is going to set up, or where they set it up in the past when they've had, speakers like that. I don't understand why you just wouldn't commit. Just, hey, wherever I'm going to do this, I'm going to be inside. You know what I mean? I don't know if there was a slip and just got sloppy a little bit, but why would you even risk it? I know that I just would never do that. But I always want to make it as hard as possible. If you are going to try to take me out, man, I want to make it as hard as possible. This is just super sad. So sad. Charlie was wearing a bulletproof vest underneath his shirt. Jeez. Yep, everybody's been posting about it. Let's pop in and see our guy JLR. JLR with
Killer caught. That's where I think this is headed to next.
crowdfunding. Oh boy.
If the FBI only goes up to 100K, I think people are going to step to the plate.
JLR.
And crowdfund. And offer higher money. New member? Or not at all. And I don't think this is a professional hitman.
Oh, I disagree.
I don't think this is a professional hitman. But I do think if I was a betting man, I would think someone affiliated with Antifa or Redneck Revolt.
Why?
Redneck Revolt. Redneck Revolt. (1-800-CALL FBI).
The issue I have with it is it's like, stop talking about like what side could.
Notice they say arrest of the individual's
about,
individual,
like,
and they.
Why don't both sides understand that we have our right to freedom of speech? It doesn't matter who did this, okay? Somebody is saying fuck you to our fucking rights, motherfuckers. God damn. Jeez. That's the issue.
Look at this. And they also, we'll put this up. Individuals,
Wait.
they said possible plural.
What gun is over here to the upper right hand side? Look at everybody's stuff. You know, everybody like ran. Ugh, everybody's just stuffs back there. So sad. So sad, man. Let's see. God, this is horrible lagging. I can't handle this. This is ridiculous. We'll stop in over here at all the
Out of those hardships grew a man defined by resilience, loyalty, and compassion.
These photos that you're seeing now?
Absolutely. I mean,
let's go back a little bit further.
Kept asking for God for that.
Lake City putting these out.
Our state has gone through a lot, and we will come out successful.
Following yesterday's
Buying them immediately, we will reach out for the public.
Okay.
And James, we appreciate you joining us again. I know it's been a couple hours since we last talked with you about this case, but a lot has happened in between now and then. So we wanted to bring you back in here. First, just let me get your initial thoughts on these surveillance images that have now been released from the FBI of a person of interest.
you know, shocking in terms of the age, right? We see this photograph of the shooter and, you know, we all have preconceived ideas as to what that shooter may look like or the age, right? So very young, my guess, well under 30. I'm going to guess in his early 20s. But here's the telegraph. We were talking about earlier on your show that the FBI was telegraphing certain things. And I had mentioned that if they release the image of the suspect, pretty good chance they don't know where he's at or maybe even the identity. So, you know, we've now seen that come to pass, asking for the public's help.
Yeah, and it was only about 3 hours from the time that they said, well, we're not going to release it yet. We're going to try to identify him using technology, some other methods, and if we can't, then we will release it. So only about 3 hours passed before they ended up saying, okay, we are going to release this. Is that significant when we're talking about the timing? Obviously, you don't want too much time to pass. Any moment that passes, it would seem, is another minute that whoever the shooter might be has to kind of get away or kind of close that trail.
Yeah, I mean, we see this all the time in other news stories, right? Where law enforcement will sometimes immediately release the identity or a picture of the suspect they're looking for. In this case, like you said, it took 3 hours.
How about this? Release how we got there. Like, you say that he got on campus at 11:52. Did he walk there? Did he drive? What was he in? I mean, college kids live on campus for the most part. Is this not I mean, did the guy walk? Did the guy walk and arrive on campus? Did he drive and arrive on campus? I mean, did he take the bus? What do you arrive in? 11:52. That's pretty late.
To do that. So that's a telegraph
Anybody,
to me that
like,
they
that's pretty
really
late.
don't have a handle on where the suspect is, number one. But number two, my question is, do they really have him identified? And Garrett, I have to tell you, just based on the 30 years I've been in the business, I don't think they have him ID'd either at this point, or they would have associated a name with that that picture.
Okay, what time was Charlie shot? How about that? If he gets there at 11:52, okay, what time was Charlie shot? That's not that much time. Let me see. What time do you guys have? I just think that that's not a lot of time.
What makes you say that?
Just the mere fact they didn't put a name out with the photograph. I mean, we've all seen these law enforcement communities issue bulletins, be on the lookout for the suspect, Joe Jones, right? Or John Doe, whatever the name is. The mere fact that they're not releasing a name on that bulletin, I feel fairly confident that they don't know the name of the shooter. Hence, they're asking for the public's help identifying him.
How much?
What does the name matter, though, if you truly think about it? The only thing that it would matter for is if people actually know that person and that name, that they would, maybe they're releasing it so that we all know that this person is armed and dangerous or is dangerous. But it would be about his potential addresses wherever he's, lives, has been staying. But if they know his name, they already know all of that as well. And they would have contact informations in their TLOs to contact stuff. The name, what does it provide you truly with? A bunch of people going on social media. So if Charlie was shot before 12:30, so 11:52 to be arriving on campus at 11:52 and to be shot by 12:30, that is Wowsville. Okay, wow. He knew that he would have no issues getting to where he needed to go. It's just like straight, you know what I mean? Like, wow. It's pretty planned to me. I mean, think about this. Think about what Luigi Mangione supposedly did. Okay. He got what? To New York how many days in advance? Okay. He scoped out that venue, right? That's what they're saying. He went into the venue. He was there. He got up and was at the subway station waiting.
More difficult does that make an investigation at this point when you are still trying to close some of those rings and try to close some of those gaps that of things that you don't know when you're already kind of playing catch up here?
Well, they are behind. I had watched a live feed about 30 minutes ago. They're out literally going yard to yard, door to door, canvassing the entire neighborhood for any possible evidence or anything left behind that would show them where the suspect may be heading. So I think it's a very difficult task. But here's the good thing about it. They have the federal partners involved. The local and state folks are involved. The president has came out and said, whatever resources is needed, you've got them. So, some technology is great, but the facial recognition issue, I think, is probably what's hampering getting him identified through this photograph. But rest assured, I mean, that's a fairly good photograph of the shooter. Someone out there knows him, and let's hope they report it sooner than later so they can apprehend him.
How does that facial recognition, kind of work?
Yeah,
Obviously,
how does it work?
if they weren't able to identify him, this person of interest, through those methods, could that? How much would of an impact would it be that this does appear to be a younger person, and things like that? Would that prove challenging or make things more difficult when it comes to trying to identify him in some of those other methods before they released these photos that you're seeing now?
Absolutely. I mean, considering that every high school and college in the United States has a photo ID of that student on an identification badge that you're in possession of. So we know our colleges and schools collect that, but here's the problem. Those colleges and public schools aren't sharing that data with law enforcement. So those in the United States, has a photo ID of that student on an identification badge that you're in possession of. So we know our colleges and schools collect that, but here's the problem. Those colleges and public schools aren't sharing that data with law enforcement. So that's strike number one, right? We know.
Wait, when do you think that you should be able to get that information? Hold on. What? Like, so did you hear what he just said there? He's saying that because you have these college IDs, you know, and he's like, they're not sharing that though with law enforcement. Well, when are you saying that that should be shared with you?
But if you fly, you go through the TSA checkpoint and you're photographed at the TSA checkpoint. Some of that information is not shared with the FBI and other intelligence communities. So yeah, I mean, the age thing I think is going to slow down the investigation.
What is this man talking about?
He should have a driver's license. So I can assure you they're going through the DMVs currently looking at that database, trying to match up that photograph with any DL records that they may have. AI is, I can assure you, playing a role in this case.
AI played a role in the picture on the right. No fucking doubt about it.
Because you can't just look at thousands and thousands of pictures. You're going to have the use of AI and computers. So that's my best guess as to what's going on in Quantico.
What else? I mean, we talked some earlier today about the gun that was found, the high-powered bolt-action rifle, as they described it, that was found in the woods, and the fingerprint, the palm print, I guess. Can you kind of walk us through what else is likely happening as they're trying to track this person down?
Well, keep in mind, he was on top of the building, so he's going to have to climb up some apparatus to get onto that building. They know exactly where he was shooting from. So all of that area is going to be processed for any DNA or fingerprints.
Absolutely.
It's my understanding they're speculating that he may have jumped off of the roof onto the ground and fled. But nevertheless, he didn't jump up the roof. So they should be some type
you just climb up it with like there's a ladder
of DNA or latent prints on that building or a ladder that he used to climb up onto the roof. The other thing is, the gun. They're going to be DNA.
Well, I think Othram should be hit up if they, could hit up any pieces of, there should be touch DNA all over that gun, process it, send it on over to Othram.
On the gun. We know the palm print was taken, so we have that. But more importantly, as all of this is happening, ATF is doing a trace on that recovered weapon to try to identify who the last person was that owned that gun. And then you're going to go to that person and literally start investigating.
Yeah, that's already been known, like immediately.
How, let me ask it this way. How does this get
How do they know that the gun is the gun? I just would think that, wow, like, think about this. They just find a gun because they're going door to door and it's all around campus, and they find houses with some wooded area and they find this gun? Somebody would have had a report, like, I saw some guy walking in my backyard. This guy like looked like he was by my fucking shed. Then he goes off into the backyard where there's trees. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like it's finding a nail in a haystack. Unless you have reason to believe that you're able to like know who this person is and was and had a phone number and you're tracking it somehow. But how do you know that that's the gun?
Time passes.
I think you just said it, time. The longer it takes to apprehend and identify the suspect, the harder it's going to be to find him. He's the bad guy. In a lot of these cases, we find the bad guy is within a very close proximity.
That's what I've been saying.
Event, right? We saw that a bunch.
I will say this, though. Everybody was running. I will say this. Everybody was running, but he's 200 yards away. All I know is college campuses have cameras all the fuck over. Like, I would think that that's just not the only photo that they have. Come on. There's just no way. You have cameras all over. But yeah, I would think that you would see somebody running with a gun.
but keep in mind, we're dealing with a younger individual who may be a little bit more aggressive on escaping, but time is not on your side. If you have a homicide, the first 24 hours of that homicide is vital to closing or solving that homicide. This is no different. It's just a larger scale
The other
investigation.
thing is,
time is not on the.
does he normally sit at his debates? Okay, because he's sitting right, and he's not sitting in like a regular chair either. He's sitting in an elevated chair, but you also have like the top of the canopy, and so your window of like your shot, that's a very tight window. Does he normally walk around? Does he walk around more than this? Is his stuff scripted? The fact that he was going to be sitting in that chair? There's a lot. I think that this is if they wanted to be successful, they would have to have this type of, they'd be considering all of the stuff that I'm saying. This is so sad.
The government side, we need to find him quickly, because the more time elapses, the greater distance he can get from authorities to hide out.
Not with Othram.
And you kind of
Look at
understand
that.
that sense
Look
of
at that.
urgency with the release. And
How about the footage of some of the footage that there is? They actually have him up on the roof. How about that?
you kind of understand that sense of urgency with the release of the photos of the person of interest, because the more people might see that, just like any other case where images are kind of released of persons of interest or suspects or fugitives, then if someone might spot them, might be able to call and at least show some sort of trail that might lead to his capture.
Yeah, I spoke about this earlier today. The FBI telegraphed a couple of things, but here's the concerning part. They came out and said there's no danger to the community, there's no threat to the community.
They did.
I'm a little apprehensive in that, because
Why? It was an isolated, targeted attack. What do you mean? Because I'm gonna be honest. If they wanted to kill more people, why wouldn't he have just kept shooting? He has 3,000 sitting ducks right there. If he wanted to keep shooting, he could have kept shooting. Like, what the fuck? It was one person. He would have been able to take out, like, think about the Las Vegas shooter, which don't even get me started with that, though. But
if they don't know the shooter's identity or his location, I don't know really if you could make that statement, right? Because he's at large. We know he just shot and murdered one person. So, I don't know if they got ahead of their skis in doing that.
They didn't.
But that certainly relaxed the community.
Relax
by them now
community.
Releasing this picture of the
That's
suspect.
like common sense. Common sense. If that shooter wanted to kill more people, they're all right there. They could have kept on shooting.
That causes concern for the community, because, okay, wait a minute, they're releasing the identity or the picture of the shooter. Do they really have a handle on who he is and where he's at? And now, is there some type of threat to the community? So it's kind of a double-edged sword by saying there's no threat to the community. I'm going to venture to say, of course there is. He's still at large.
And I'm going to venture to say, of course, you're a fucking idiot. Like, that level of thinking right there. That's like anytime there's a crime, think about it, and someone's, absolutely crazy. That logic is just.
We also talked about kind of the political atmosphere and the discourse and how things.
You know what? You know what's so funny about that? When they want to talk about this political stuff, let me tell you something. I was horribly trolled on this platform. Okay. And guess who did it to me? People that pretended to be my friends for like a long time. That's who was fucking with me. So that's what I think about that. It shouldn't be about that. It should be about the fact that what is this person doing? It is our rights. It's all of our rights. It's your right to be on this side. Okay. It's your right to be on that side. That is your right. Your right to think and feel however the fuck you want. Woo, float me around, do whatever, blah, blah. Dude, I high five. Yep, I high five you. It's when I get mad when I'm like, dude, don't you have like, do you have any opinions? Like, I mean, that is the glorious thing. The community, the United States of America should be united together, because who does this person think they are to take that away? This isn't a side thing. This is a what the fuck. It's a Constitution thing. We all have the right to feel however we want, right? Express our opinions and say that. Well, what nobody has the right to do is to shoot somebody because of whatever the fuck they're saying. God damn, man. Y'all missing, like, not you guys. Not the people that are here because you're here because you get it. But it's like, blame game. I blame the people that want to blame people. That's what I do. Why are you blaming? This isn't a side that did this. One person with potentially the help from other people to make it happen shot and killed a man, right? Why though? Well, because he was exercising his First Amendment right, our rights. He was exercising our rights. Think about that. It's not about, for me, what he stands for and what side he's on. It's the fact that how damn dare you think that you can do that? You can't. You have the right in the United States of America to say what the fuck you want. If you don't like it, stand up and talk back and say, no, this is what I blah, 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 blah. You know? You don't shoot people. And no, people kill people. Guns are just a way to do it. People will stab you. People, if they want to kill you, they will kill you. They will find a way. Anything can be made into a weapon. It's our rights. The moment that you try to impede and take away our rights, I have a problem with that. Because if you think that I agree with everything that Charlie thinks, oh my God, you're fucking crazy. No. My son has 2 moms. You think I feel like how Charlie feels? Absolutely not. But I agree with him on, hey, debate's good. Absolutely. Charlie's Catholic. I'm Catholic. But no, you're wrong. What I'm doing, I have that right. You have a right to feel that it's not godly, Lana. Damn you. And I have the right to say, you fuck the Bible too much. Okay? Because I think it's more important to just be a good person. And as long as I'm being a good person and I'm doing nothing to you, right? How about Like, what am I doing that's has anything to do with you? How does that affect you? How does me wanting to love who I want to love affect you? It doesn't. If you make it affect you, then that's on you because you're living vicariously through me. If you want to cheat on your wife, that's not godly. You know how many Catholic people cheat on their wives and husbands? Fucking all day, man. Just go to some of those PTA mom meetings. You're going to see it. The point of the matter is that we should be given the opportunity to speak without somebody thinking that they could kill us for it. And Charlie had at least the balls to try to get the youth of the community, hey, like, wake up and see what's going on around you, participate, vote, shit like that, you know? And he's like, hey, come debate me, come talk, you know? So I also don't think that God had hey, just go ask for forgiveness by going to confession every time you cheat or every time you do something. Oh, but don't worry, I'm going to go to confession. I'm fine. Come on now. But you're never going to agree with every single person or even just one person. You're never going to agree on all things. And when you are agreeing on all the things, then someone's lying. But you should be able to talk about it, and you should be able to have uncomfortable conversations and voice the fact that, hey, this makes me feel uncomfortable talking about this, because if I was to say something a certain way, then somebody looks at it this way. You know, when you talk about things and you talk stuff out, I think you can, because I want to hear where you're coming from and why you think what you think. And then here, why don't you listen to why I think what I think? I'm going to tell you, and then we can at least, I see where you're coming from, or I can be like, dude, you are so fucking off on your rocker. But at least, hey, you took the time to do that, you know? But the people that want to go on national television, mainstream media, and start spouting off that this is because of one side or the other, you're the problem. You're the problem. That's why I love the word independence. That's why I love the word transparency. That's why I love the word truth. Okay? Transparency, truth, independence, freedom. Vote on topics, right? Like, we know what's right and we know what's wrong, right? Come on. To think that only one side has shitbag human beings is absolutely unbelievable. It's like careers. You know, we see a couple of these teachers that are banging 11-year-olds. Does that mean our teachers are all fucking sexual predators? No. It means there's bad apples in everywhere, in every organization, or it's like, how can you even make these arguments? It's just fucking, it's sad, but it's also laughable.
Kind of get to the point where you have an incident like this, or incidents like
whoever did this attacked every single person. They didn't attack a side. They attacked our freedoms. That's the issue. And if anybody makes it any other way, then you're an idiot. Like, I'm sorry, you're just an idiot. Again, you can disagree with what people do, but this is a totally different issue. if you were to blame the Democrats for this, if you were to blame the Republicans for this, that's the problem. Wrong is wrong, right is right.
Seen over the past.
It doesn't matter who committed this crime. Somebody still took away our freedoms, our rights, right? That's the only thing that matters. It's like almost like back in the day with the mob. Okay, you have rules to the game, right? With the Italian mafia, you don't fucking touch old people. You don't touch women and children, right? You keep it within the families, right? When you're gonna be, this is my territory, and you fucking came in here, like it's. You keep that shit where it needs to be kept. There's rules to the game, right? That's kind of how I look at this. If you guys want to talk about sides, it's like, what the fuck? What are you doing? That's how I look at it. That no. Nobody goes out and does this.
A few months, going back over a year. And it's certainly not something that is just unique to our time, but it does seem like this is something that we're seeing.
This is like somebody going in the mafia world and taking out a hitman, like a made man from another family. That's not what you do, right? It's like a rule. And people didn't praise that, even if you were on like that side. You got like dealt with. Like that would never stand, right? You guys get what the analogy there? So this is just a wife, 2 kids, and then people wanting to put a political spin on it. Sorry, but I'm not gonna that's just not what. This stuff's just so depressing.
More and more, and I'm curious the kind of security and law enforcement kind of reaction to this, and what
the security would come from the university and then whoever he's traveling with, unless he talks to the city's police force and says, hey, we're going to be having this event and I mean,
events like this might look like. I mean, we saw another conservative influencer, Ben Shapiro, kind of, I believe, canceling, if not just putting on hold, some events that he had scheduled. So where do you think things go from here with events like this?
Yeah, we don't know if Ben has done that in respect to Charlie Kirk, or if he's, canceled those events for security concerns. We don't know the answer to that. But
That's
here's
horrible.
what I believe. These events, we really need to take a look at them.
I would still have my event, but I would do it online, until I felt that, I don't know, just horrible. This is nuts.
And we need to harden up the soft targets. You and I spoke about this early. It's my belief that if you're going to issue a permit for a public event from a city or a county perspective, the county needs to be a little bit more in charge of that, in control, to make sure that, number one, they have adequate security. But number two, I think we really need to look at maybe indoor events to be able to control that atmosphere. If we're outdoors, we've seen Butler, we've seen Charlie Kirk's event. There's just a lot of failures that can be filled. But if you're an indoor arena or some type of indoor setting, there's a pretty good chance you're not going to have a shooter from the high ground. So I would probably ask the county and the state to look at that to mandate certain policies or rules. And I hate laws and I hate rules, but look, we've got to harden up these soft targets.
What is adequate security these days, Jamie?
I mean, you had 3,000 people, or maybe 3,000 plus at this event, at Charlie Kirk's event. If I understood the commissioner, they had about 12 or 14 officers. Now, he did say they had some undercover plainclothes officers mixed in with the crowd, which I've done that in my prior career. Charlie Kirk himself had 6 or 8 security people. But you're talking 3,000 people
That's
at
like
an
nothing.
outdoor event with high ground that needs to be covered to prevent these rooftop shooters.
What is 6 or 8 security guards? Think about that. That's like, they're for people. That security is for like personal threat, like it within your, like somebody coming at you type of thing. Okay. That's not for, I mean, I don't know how 6 to 8 team security is possibly for sniper shooters.
Their technology and drones. 101, if a door is able to be locked, so you're not accessing the roof, it needs to be locked and secured and tagged. It was tagged on this date at this time, so that seal is not broken. We've got to utilize the drones and some more technology to make sure if it's an outdoor event that the high ground is covered and there's no possible shooters on a rooftop adjacent.
And one point of clarity here, we are seeing from the Real Daily Wire saying that Ben Shapiro canceled 2 book signings out of respect
Yeah,
for
there is
Charlie
no but.
Kirk, not security concerns. But you have to think that this is going to be top of mind for whoever it may be with similar events.
I agree, New Orleans.
It is, and here's another issue.
There is no but.
So, do we take this rhetoric and radicalize these people that carry out these shootings? So, are we looking now at soft targets for journalists who are reporting whatever the event or crimes are on the street, and they just happen to disagree with one of these people? I mean, the list goes on and on. So, I kind of threw up my arms and my hands earlier on your show. How do you solve this? I don't think you can solve it directly, but what you can do is be a little bit smarter, a lot smarter than the bad guy. And know your surroundings. And, if you're out at these events, know your escape plan, take a look around, and there's no one coming to save you if this happens. You're going to be your own savior. So you have to have an exit plan and find good cover and be ready for this. It's unfortunate that you have to put that in your mind, Garrett, but that's kind of where we're at with the climate.
It is unfortunate, and we talked earlier with Dr. Larry Walker, a political analyst and professor, about kind of dialing back lowering the temperature, dialing back the tensions here, and kind of all doing our part to do that, because it is unfortunate that we continue to see things like this happen in a democracy and a representative republic, and where we are proud of our freedoms and exercise, our rights, and seeing things like this that shouldn't happen. So certainly concerning. Jamie, before I let you go, yeah, go ahead.
If I could just point out one thing, the freedom of speech is a God-given right? We all have the freedom of speech, but you can't go into a movie theater and yell fire. We've all heard that, right? I really and truly, and I'm not a big proponent of making new laws or making new rules. But listen, whether you're on the left, the right, or in the middle, and especially our lawmakers, they spew this stuff on both sides of the aisle. And unfortunately, people take that literally and for granted, and they go out and act on perhaps maybe what a lawmaker has suggested. Let's take the fight to the street. We've heard that a couple of times from our sitting lawmakers. It's just got to stop. But maybe if we start charging some of these people who are inciting this violence, maybe that'll be the damper that stops some of this.
Inciting hate. Is that?
Jamie, before I let you go, I want to pull up the images of this person of interest one more time here, and just kind of get your thoughts on where things go from here with this investigation, and kind of what we should be watching for as we continue to kind of track this and watch for developments on it.
You know, the photograph's excellent for FBI forensics. They have technology that can actually come up with the exact height of the suspect, the exact almost weight.
Like Bridge Guy? Get the fuck out of here. Well, where was the FBI for that? Richard Allen, Bridge Guy, huh? Fuck out of here. Sorry, that shit pisses me off. Talk about, all right, well, my thoughts and prayers are with Charlie and his family. Definitely did not see eye to eye with everything that Charlie said, but I am one for, I love people having their own opinions. I love people that use, and that's not how I look at things. I look at things as like, I respect people that in their minds are trying to better things, and I saw no violence. I think it was more like, let's talk it out. So we could talk it out, and we should be able to use our First Amendment speech and maybe meet some common ground. But yeah, I think it's also just really ironic when you listen to his speeches and then just what happened and all the videos that just keep playing. It's like, I don't know what point you showed other than you want First Amendment to go away, and we should be like, that's never happening, you know? So cheers to all of you guys. It's 9/11. This should have never happened, but to fall on this day as well. Say prayers for all those families as well. You know, every year this date comes around and happens to fall on one of my cousin's birthdays. Sucks. But much love to all of you guys. Stay safe, be kind, and we'll keep following if there's more news to report on. But to arrive on campus at 11:52 and for Charlie to have been shot between 12:20, 12:25, that's very, very little time. And that tells me that this was definitely not somebody that just woke up, rolled out of bed, and was like, I'm going to fucking go shoot a gun today. Until next time, peace out.